Hello everyone, my name is Yasser Said. About a week ago, I uploaded a video on my YouTube channel on how I managed to get an 8.5 in IELTS as well as an 8.5 in the writing part. And boy oh boy, ever since then, my inbox is flooded with queries on making more videos specifically to the writing and the listening part. What we are going to do today is I'm going to share with you the actual practical tips that I have used to write my paper. So without further ado, we're going to get started. We're going to open up the IDP's website in which you will get the question on the left and the write-up on the right. And that is going to be the exact 100% same format, the exact 100% same computer program that you will use in your computer-based IELTS test whenever you're giving it. So that not only are you familiar with the test, but you also know how to do it. Let's proceed further. So here we are. We are at the IELTS website. Even though it's for Pakistan, you can of course Google it. And what you need to do is come here. Practice your IELTS writing on the computer. What you need to do is you can click any one of these. So we'll start off with the general training writing sample questions. Let's go. This is what you'll see once you're doing the live test. You'll see your name, your date of birth, and the candidate number right over here. If the details are not correct, you need to inform your invigilator. And if they are, just click on My Details Are Correct. These are your instructions. You have to answer both of the parts, and you can change your answers at any time. You will be given only 60 minutes to do the test. And there are two parts. You need to understand the second part contributes twice as much as part one to the writing score. The test clock will show you when there are 10 minutes and 5 minutes remaining. Once you get a go-ahead from the invigilator, you need to click on Start Test. And let's get started. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All right. So this is the exact format that you'll see. You'll see your candidate number right over here. All right. You'll see that you have 59 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. This is your first part, and this is your second part. Now, there are a variety of the type of questions that you'll be asked to write on. Some are opinion-based, some are advantages, disadvantages. I'm just going to answer what is available right now. It is important to first develop a solid understanding of the question, without which it is impossible for you to answer. Let's understand what the question is, and then if there are any problems, we can even highlight it. You can select it, click on highlight, it can be highlighted. You can also add notes to it. This is exactly how you can do even on the real test. Okay, once you add a note, you'll see this pop up, and you can write in any note here. But make sure that whatever you write is here, because this word count will exceed and go to 150 in case you're writing here, because this is where you need to write. Anything you write or highlight over here is not going to be graded. We are already short. We've already wasted about 1.5 minutes, but it's important to understand. Let's move on. You live in a room in college which you share with another student. However, there are many problems with this arrangement, and you find it very difficult to work. Now, write a letter to the accommodation officer at the college. In your letter, these are the three things that you need to do. Number one, you have to describe the situation. Number two, you have to explain your problems and why is it difficult to work. And number three, say what kind of accommodation you would prefer. You do not need to write any address. You need to begin your letter as follows: Dear Sir or Madam. Let's try to understand that the IELTS General Writing Part 1 is all about writing a letter. Writing a letter is not difficult. We just need to write 150 words. The reason we're doing it here is that there are two things you need to take into account. Your spelling and grammar checker will, by default, be turned off. It does not work here. So once you write, you need to revise it time and again just to make sure that everything is working according to the plan, and the paper and the answer that you've written is perfect without any mistakes. Let's get started. I am living in a room in college with that I'm sharing with another student. So let's start it off. Dear sir, I'm writing to inform you. Nope. I'm writing to inform you about a possible relocation of my college room. My name is Yasser Said, and I am currently. You see this? You see this? This is a mistake. This is a spelling mistake, and it has not been highlighted. This is something you need to take care of yourself. Currently residing at the university hostels. I'm writing to request you for a possible relocation of my college. As I'm currently residing at the university hostels. I am having problems living with my roommate. So please allow me to explain it in more detail. 2 line breaks, and then you're going to start off the paragraph. The first paragraph is only going to be a rewrite of the question that you see here. You see that? Possible relocation of my college room. My name is blah blah blah. But let's just move on. Let's move on. Oops. My Grammarly. No, 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 no. No, no. We can't work it like that. Remove from Chrome. You see? Now it's working. We don't want any spell checker. We don't want Grammarly or any of the other application to work. I'm writing to request you for a possible relocation of my college room. My name is Yasser Said, and I'm currently okay. I need to describe my situation. So there is going to be one paragraph of my situation, one small paragraph of my problems and why it's difficult to work, and what type of accommodation would I prefer. My roommate's activities make it extremely difficult for me to concentrate on my studies. I find it the loud music nighttime um, and long parties till late night have become a norm. He has a total disregard of my privacy, making me uncomfortable, making it challenging for me to focus on my education and on my work. I have requested him multiple times to turn off the music, specifically not during night when I am trying to sleep. Despite repeated requests, he seems to continuously ignores them. I'm requesting you to kindly transfer me with another roommate. If with another roommate who respects with another student who respects their roommates, the roommates' privacy. However, an ideal situation would be However, an ideal situation would be, however, I'd strongly prefer to get new accommodation all to myself without sharing with anyone else. I'm ready to pay if that is not possible, kindly get me a new accommodation all to myself without sharing with anyone else. I'm ready to pay in full for the room as I study and work. Work in the mornings, work, study, and rest. I work and I do a full-time job to sponsor my tuition fees. I shall be extra. Thank you for your consideration. Your attention is required on an urgent basis to resolve my issue. Thank you. Yasir Said. All in all, it took us 12 minutes to write part 1. Don't be confused. You may not have a strong typing speed that I have. You may not be fast in typing, but that's fine. We are not going to revise it now. This is the tactic that I used. So we are going to move on to part 2, and we're going to do this. So as long as you're done with a minimum of 150 words, it should not exceed 200, because the moment it goes above 200, it is going to derail. The more content you have that is not required, the higher the chances of repetition, grammar and spelling errors, vocabulary issues. So instead of getting a high band, you may get a 6 or 6.5. That is not recommended. I would not recommend you to go do anything over 200. Please don't do it. Let's move on to part 2. You should spend about 40 minutes, but since we have 46 minutes, we'll try to do it within the next 30 minutes. In Britain, when someone gets old, They often go to live in a home with the other old people where there are nurses to look after them. Sometimes the government has to pay for this care. Who do you think should pay for this care? The government or the family? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. This might seem too difficult at first, but if you follow a structure, it is not going to be challenging for you. And let me show you how. Understand the question first. In Britain, when someone gets old, they often go to live in a home with other old people where there are nurses to look after them. Sometimes the government has to pay for this care. The question is that when people go old, they are transferred to an old home where the government takes care of them through the nurses, and that care is that is taken by the government is done so by the taxes that you and I pay, that the people who work in the Britain pay. That it's deducted from their salaries. It is deducted in the form of GST or any sort of taxes that an employed person residing in the Britain is paying. Those taxes are used to fund this care. What is your opinion? Do you think the government or the family should pay for it? You need to take a stance. You are either against it completely or you are with it completely. Either you're supporting the government and you need to give reasons, or you're supporting the family and you're giving the reasons. So you need to take one stance. Either you can say that it's the government who needs to take care and have this responsibility, or it is the family's responsibility, not the government's responsibility. You need to give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge. It is not supposed to be in Britain. If you are from Pakistan, just like I am from, you can talk about your own culture. If you are from India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, or any other country, you can talk from your own experience. So without further ado, let's get started on this. In the UK, you see how I have avoided repetition. Instead of saying Britain, I've said the UK. But it's in the UK. It's not in the England. It's not in the England. It's in the UK. It's in the UK. The government takes care of funds the elderly care program. The government has set up departments and old homes where old people are taken care of by nurses specializing in this field. I completely agree with this. Now, there is no such thing as right or wrong. You can either agree or you can disagree. You just need to provide the examples and justifications. This statement and will provide reasons and relevant examples from Lahore, Pakistan, my city, Lahore, my hometown, Lahore. In Pakistan, my home country, Pakistan. Oops, I forgot to put a full stop. Country. No, we just need to from my home country. In Pakistan, while there are special old homes, it is the closely knitted family structure that takes care of the elderly. We live in a joint family system with our parents, siblings, old people. So you're giving here the first, this is a rewrite. This is a reason of why this is basically a statement that you're saying that you're having a stance with the family, that you say that it's the family that you take care. Now you're giving the reasons. In fact, sending old homes, sending people to old homes can often exponentially increase the problem rather than reducing it. If this trend continues, then every family member will be ready to go to the old old homes to leave their family member. They're ready to leave at some point in the distant future when they get old. This eventually will destroy the entire family system of our Asian culture. Our religion, as a practicing Muslim, we are taking care of our parents and the elderly. One of our core responsibilities and an important part of faith. Instead of leaving it to the government, families need to get together and take care of the aging family member or the aging members. Before things get complicated. Before the aging family members need to be taken care of before they are died with severe mental disorders, sent to old homes and diagnosed with severe mental disorders. All right. So, in 28 minutes, in about half an hour, we are done with both of these parts. And this is just the writing. We are not yet done with proofreading, with editing, with spell check, with grammar, with vocabulary. We need to avoid repetitions. And since the grammar spell check is off, I've removed Grammarly from Chrome extension. You can see that there is no way I can figure out what I've written is right. So I'll go back to part one and I'll start proofreading from there. Dear sir, comma, I am writing, let's, and you can also increase the size. I mean, if you go to help, at the bottom of this, you can see the navigation bar. You can also increase the size, just control plus. I'm writing to request you for a possible relocation of my college room. My name is Yasir Said, comma, and I am currently residing at the university hostels, full stop. I'm having problems living with my roommate. I'm having problems living in the current arrangement with my roommate. Why do I have semicolon? Because this is a new sentence that is beginning. So please allow me to explain it in more detail. Full stop. My full stops are there. My comma is there. My comma's pronunciation. My name's first letter is written with a capital. Okay. My roommates Because he's one person, it is going to be roommates. Activities make it extremely difficult for me to concentrate on my studies. Full stop. Provide reason. Loud music and long parties that often go till late night, comma, have become a norm. He has a total disregard of my privacy, making it challenging for me to focus on my work. Again, problem. I have requested him multiple times to turn off the music, specifically not during night when I'm trying to sleep. Despite repeated requests, he continuously ignores them. There is another way to rewrite it. Despite this, all of my effort is in vain. Despite this, despite what? Despite the multiple requests. Despite these multiple requests, despite this, all of my effort is in vain. It means that I've given him multiple times, I've requested him politely, but all of my effort is in vain. It means that, you know, um, nothing is being fruitful at this point. I am requesting you to kindly transfer me with another student who respects their roommate's privacy. If that is not possible, kindly get me a new accommodation all to myself without sharing with anyone else. I am ready to pay in full for the room as I do a full time job to sponsor my tuition fees. I am firm and I am committed to change. And I have given an affirmation that I am even willing to pay more if that is going to solve the problem. Your attention is required on an urgent basis to resolve my issue. Thank you, Yasser Said. Word count 200. Anywhere between 150 to 200 words are perfect. Please do not go above 200 because this way there are going to be higher chances of you committing mistakes. Let's move forward. Part 2. In the UK, the government has set up, you see repetition? No, we're going to delete it. Has set up special departments and old homes where old people are taken care of by nurses specializing in this. Now, specializing is with this Z, it can also be with S. But whatever you choose, make sure that it is the same. Specializing in this field. I completely disagree with the statement and will provide reasons and relevant examples from my home country. In Pakistan, P's capital, comma, while there are special old homes, comma, it is the closely knitted family structure that takes care of the elderly. Elderly, old are synonyms. We live in a joint family system, comma, with our parents, siblings, comma, and this is an Oxford comma. Whenever you have three or more than three items, you are going to use the Oxford comma with an and then a full stop. There have been rare cases where the old family members are sent with other people to be taken care of. I honestly believe that it is the job of a family to take care. Instead, I've already said taken care of here, and then it is taken care of here, and then it is take care. Is there any better way of saying this? Exactly. What it could be. I honestly believe it is the job of a family to provide for the elderlies, to provide sufficient comfort at home for the elderlies. You see, I'm avoiding repetition. Here are the reasons. The care and emotional attachment with the family members at home is not the same, comma, is not the same that the government can provide at old homes. In fact, comma, sending people to old homes can often exponentially increase the problem rather than decrease it. Since it is simple present verb, we are going to use a simple present verb over here. You see it? While some old homes have qualified medical staff to take care of the elderly, not all are the same, which means that, most of them may not provide for the same facilities. In a joint, you see, it's not you, it's I. In a joint family system, comma, if one family member is unable to give the required attention, comma, the other member takes up the responsibility. Last but not the least, it is this. We also need to look at the other side of the grass. This is an idiom, which means we don't need to judge things from our own perspective. We also need to have a look at it from the other perspective. If this trend continues, comma, then every family member will be ready to leave at some point in the distant future when they get old. This eventually will destroy the entire family system of our Asian culture. Since Asian is a proper noun, we need to capitalize the A. As a practicing Muslim, taking care of our parents and the elderly is one of our core responsibilities, is one of the core responsibilities of our faith. Instead of leaving it, have I said instead before? Instead. No, I've only said it once. Instead of leaving it to the government, the aging family members need to be taken care of before they're sent to old homes and diagnosed. No, this is a long sentence. Let's leave it to the sending aging family members to old homes can also lead to severe mental disorders. Something that the family members can avoid. Which I will never recommend. I will never recommend sending aging family members to old homes, comma, as it can also lead to severe mental disorders. Full stop. 291 words. We are done with the proofing. We are done with editing. And it's just 40 minutes, maybe. Let's go to part 1. Mistake. What is a synonym of roommate? Roommate. At the university dorms. Here's a good word of hostels. That is a synonym. And I'm not using Google. I have not prepared it in advance. This is what I'm doing right now in real time. And it is just going to be done without any edits. You can even see the time that is going on, and all of my other tabs are off. This is the only tab. Okay. Your attention is required on an urgent basis to resolve my issue. Thank you, Yasser Said. Thank you, comma, Yasser. You see, there is readability in this. This is even better. Short sentences, short paragraphs. 2. I honestly, there is a job of family to provide sufficient comfort. Here. $287 words. I still have 20 minutes remaining, and I'm done with the proofreading. But during the real test, here's what I suggest. You're going to use these 20 minutes wisely, because during the real test, even if you're done reading it, read it again, read it again, read it as many times you can. And since you can't be allowed to use Google over there because nothing is connected to the internet, you'll only have a desktop application like this. You need to come up with new synonyms if possible. Go to part 1, see if there's any changes you need to make. Go to part 2, see if there's any changes you need to make. Since I'm done with this, and if I were you, I would continue sitting this for 20 minutes and do it. But I'm already done. I don't need to do anything else. And that, my friends, is the end of part 1 from my side. We still have about 19 minutes remaining. This is one of those videos that has never been done before, not on my channel and not on any other channel that I've come across. This is how you do the writing part. This is how you answer the question. And this is the IELTS General Writing Part 1 and 2. I will do the IELTS Academic Writing Part 1 and 2 as well. I'll upload that video in the coming week. And then we'll do the reading and listening and speaking modules as well. I'll share more tips and tricks. And feel free to join my Facebook group. The link is there in the description. And I will love to see you on the other side. Thank you so much for watching such a long video. I really pray to God that you get a 7.5 plus band out of this. By the way, before signing off, if I were not to be biased, this would be an easily a 7.5. This would be an easy 7.5 because it has a range of words. It is following this count. It does not have spelling or grammar mistakes, both of these parts. So you don't have to write a lot of fancy words. You just need to make sure that the basics are being followed. And once that is done, I think 7.5 is something that is worth it for this paper. I might even get an 8 for this. Who knows? I still got an 8.5 though. Thanks once again for watching this video. I really enjoyed making it. And this is how you do the writing. Take care. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Bye-bye. Allah Hafiz.